All right, and we're back for more Versus Live. That's Ross Merriam. I'm Todd Anderson. We got Kyle West over in the booth. If y'all have any questions for us, make sure to @SCG Tour in the Twitch chat. He's going to be perusing those and picking his favorite questions and his favorite digs. And he's going to be relaying those to us. Personally, I like the digs.
I think we all know that, Todd.
Yeah, they're just good. You know, even when they're bad, they're good. And that's my favorite part. So for our second match, as we continue exploring this new modern format, not only do we have Ravnica Allegiance entering into the fray, but we also have Card Clan Ironworks going out to greener pastures. What do you think that means for these modern decks that are kind of like on the back burner that maybe had a bad Ironworks matchup to begin with?
Yeah, I think some of those get a little bit better. I think the removal of Ironworks is getting a little bit overblown as a big changer in the modern metagame. I think the addition of Ravnica Allegiance and the hype around Burn is the bigger variable. So in match 1, we showed you 2 of the sort of decks to beat. Izzet Phoenix is the most popular deck in the format right now. And then Burn is a deck that's building in popularity, getting a lot of hype with the addition of the new cards. And so now in this second match, we're bringing some under-heralded decks that used to be really big contenders in the format or have been at various times in the metagame's evolution that are now being overlooked. And we mentioned them before the break. We got Hardened Scales on Todd's side, and I am playing Eldrazi Tron. I think Eldrazi Tron being just the best Chalice the Void deck helps it out a lot against the 2 decks that we played in match 1. It's just a generically powerful, proactive deck. I think Thought-Knot Seer is one of the best cards in the entire modern format against Burn.
I agree.
Just providing a threat. It blocks the body immediately. It takes a burn spell out of their hand.
This is, of course, assuming that you're casting it earlier than turn 4.
Yes.
I think a turn 4 Thought-Knot Seer has a chance to miss, but usually the decks that play Thought-Knot Seer have either Noble Hierarch and or Eldrazi Temple to kind of put it out there a little bit quicker, as well as a little bit other disruption that maybe slows the opponent down, like Chalice of the Void.
Yes. Hardened Scales is a deck that emerged while Humans was very popular over the summer and was largely suppressed by Azorius Control. With Control sort of pushed down in the recent months, I think it could have emerged even with Ironworks staying around, because this is a deck that can race Ironworks pretty effectively. You get turn 3 kills.
Yeah, turn 3 kills, but you're having to fight through Injured Explosives, and now even more recently Master Thopterus. I think those 2 cards are pretty tough for you to beat. Obviously, if you're both goldfishing and you have a draw that's like Hardened Scales into Ballista and a bunch of 0 and 1s and then Arcbound Ravager, like you can just combo kill people that way. I've won a lot of games with this deck on turn 3 through no resistance from my opponent. Now, Ironworks has a bit of resistance with those Injured Explosives, but after sideboard also they just have 4 Nature's Claims, and things like that slow you down enough, and your Nature's Claims from your side aren't nearly as effective as theirs are, because they are built to burn through any deck that puts up a bit of interaction, like just the Nature's Claims, just the Ancient Grudges, whatever. In order for you to beat Ironworks in the past, you needed a permanent that completely shut down their entire strategy. Stony Silence that you splashed white for in your Izzet deck, almost primarily, among other things. It's gone now. That's not relevant. What is relevant is that Hardened Scales no longer has that monkey on its back, and the fact that it's gone from the format means maybe people will play less Disenchant effects.
Yeah, fewer Disenchant effects, fewer Stony Silences, all good things for this deck. Relative to regular Affinity, I think Scales is significantly more explosive, but it also folds to interaction more easily. You don't have the Etch Champions. You don't have the extra creature lands.
So I agree to an extent, but I do think that, you have 5-ish creature lands. But I think the important thing is, like, Hangerback Walker is a pretty big deal against generic spot removal.
Yeah, John Style decks.
Right.
For sure.
And if people are leaning on Fatal Push instead of Path to Exile, having Hangerback Walker in your deck is a pretty big deal. I agree, though, if your opponent just has a swath of spot removal or whatever, like Disenchant, Ancient Grudges, that kind of thing, they're just going to run you out of stuff. You don't have Thoughtcast. You don't have Etch Champion. And, as far as normal Affinity decks are concerned, in those scenarios, you will fold where they may not.
Yeah. I've also found this matchup to be pretty good for Izzet Phoenix. From that side of things, you have a real problem with Thing in the Ice.
That's true.
Gut Shot is quite good, and quite good at protecting you from the early kills that almost always involve Inkmoth Nexus in that matchup. So you can struggle there, but the deck is quite powerful. Even if it has some issues tactically with how your cards line up. When your deck is as powerful as this one, it puts up a lot of wins. And the numbers of this deck have been pretty good.
Yeah,
on a lot of the deep dives.
Even when it wasn't like a significant part of the metagame. I know Christopher Larson top 8 at a Grand Prix with it in the last year, and
In the last 2 months.
Well, it was more than 2 months ago, I thought.
Was it?
Was
No,
that
it was
GP Atlanta, I think? Am I
It
crazy?
was end of October.
Sure.
So 3 months ago.
Sure. Okay. You're just going to... Whatever, man. All right. Anyway, let's go and get to the match because I'm tired of jibber-jabber. Okay? Question 1, 2.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah, you lost. You get to go first.
Yeah.
Nivid wants to know, how do you guys feel about Storm right now?
Well, I thought KCI was a good matchup for Storm. Storm's a deck that people who play it are just going to keep playing it, even in the face of adversity. So I'm just going to say, just keep playing it.
I think
if you
Storm
like it.
is a fairly underrated deck overall, but I also think it is the single hardest deck in Modern to play. I think it is incredibly difficult. And I worry about this influx of burn decks because that is not a good matchup for Storm. So I'd be worried about Storm right now, but if you are comfortable with it, it's a good deck.
All right.
Okay, I'll match 1. I'll be on the play here.
You can ask me one more while Ross is tanking on his hand because he always thinks about his opener.
Sure.
Like
first,
a pleb.
Ellie the Duck.
I'll keep.
Resubscribe. Say
Thanks,
thank you
Ellie
for
the Duck.
that. And who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Don't
Pats.
care.
Yeah, Ross doesn't care about football, but it's going to be the Pats. Just because,
That's not nearly as juicy.
it's just the year's going to start off bad and it's just going to get worse,
This is an optimistic show, Todd.
Yeah. You know what I'm optimistic about? The next year.
You know what I'm optimistic about? Drawing a second Tron land with this hand, because then it's great. Otherwise, I have decisions to make. But we'll start on Tron land map.
Okay, I drew a good one. Hard skills.
That's a tilt.
Yeah, go.
Well, I was going to Chalice the Void here, but now I feel like I have to do...
Oh, yeah, no, I forgot you have Chalice the Void in your deck. I'm just going to do this.
Yeah. It's very likely that Todd just plays a 2-drop next turn. He could play 2-drop into 1-drop, so my Chalice would only be stopping one thing. Maybe I want to do that just to... because limiting you from an Arcbound marker or something could be good here, or certainly a second Scales. And I do have a sort of natural progression in my hand here of 2, 3, 4. Whereas next, I could just crack the map and get an Eldrazi Temple, and
I'm stupid.
And then play this next turn, and then double spell the following.
Can I just undo my whole turn? Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. Okay. Play this. I'm gonna play these 2 things. I'm gonna play this. And even though I lose out a counter, I get a thing on the battlefield. Now you may go.
So you have 3 in hand?
I have 3 cards in hand. Because this turns on this. Let me play this. I lose out on a counter, but I get to put a thing on the battlefield, which I think is more important.
Well, now seeing 2 1-mana spells in a deck that doesn't have a ton of them makes me think that this Chalice is no longer going to be good. So I'll play Cavern on Eldrazi and pass the turn.
I feel like I juked you so hard on accident. And everyone's going to, wow, this hand's bad. Or this Ancient Stirrings is bad. Okay. We're just going to take a Horizon Canopy.
Can't say I'm mad to see that.
Yeah, it was either that or Ink Moth Nexus. Yeah. That's why I drew this as my draw. So I'm like, he's going to be mad when I play that.
19.
Yeah, your turn.
Instead, pop map.
Yep.
Generally, like if you can assemble Tron with this deck early, you go for that. Otherwise, you just find a bunch of temples. And eventually, you assemble Tron and go nuts with Walking Ballista. You got 2 cards in hand now, and I know one of them has Horizon Canopy.
Yep.
What's the other one?
I don't know. You have to wait and find out.
Yeah, wait till my turn because you're about to get Thought Not Seared.
That sucks.
Temple of Thought Not Seared.
There's another Horizon Canopy.
I can't believe you did this to me, Todd.
You're mad. All right, I'm going to play my land. I'm going to crack it.
Draw Arcbound Ravager.
Yeah, draw Arcbound Ravager.
Is this real?
All right, so it's going to enter with 3, and then we're going to put 3 more on it. attack.
Oh, you can like sack the Ravager to.
Yeah, I'm gonna sack the Ravager and put I don't know, 8 on it.
I don't really have a good way of dealing with a gigantic artifact creature. It's all it does is like the big sweeper here, and I don't have Karn in the main deck. And it gives Todd another card, but I'm at 19. So this is a 6, 9, 12, and then you'd add 14. So this is a 15-point attack if I don't block.
It's 14. Oh, it is 15 damage. Yeah, sorry, I'm stupid.
There is some value to getting the Arcbound Ravager off the battlefield.
That's true.
I won't die to a Walking Ballista.
Combo potential.
Yeah, I won't die to a Walking Ballista. Inkmoth becomes less threatening. This is tough because my hand is not very good. The thing is, this Thought-Knot's not attacking into this Ravager. Yeah, I'm just going to block.
Okay. I'm not going to just go all in. I'm just going to sack it to itself. It's going to modulate
it gets 3 and 3, so it goes to...
Start a 6, 7, 8.
Okay. When you said I'm not going to go all in, I thought you were moving this over.
No.
Okay.
So that your thing dies, I'll draw a card.
Yep.
And say go. Because I don't really want to sack the Welding Jar. I don't know if he has like some way to kill the worker. Like even double Dismember or something like that would be a little annoying. But...
Okay, let's Thought-Knot you again.
All right. Well, we drew an Overseer, so you get that.
What else? Two canopies.
Canopy and
you cracked
Citadel.
Okay. Pass.
All right. Play my land for turn, pop it.
Yep.
All right. Attack for 9.
Go to 10.
Go. Maybe that's one reason to put a counter on it. Or sack the Mox Opal to put a counter on it, you know?
Attack for 4.
At 16. I don't think I tapped my canopies for mana at all.
No. Chalice for 1.
Sure.
Ghost Quarter, Matter Reshaper.
Okay.
Pass.
I think I might actually lose. Attack.
Block. I don't want to die to a Ballista. We'll trigger the Reshaper.
Does it cast?
Nope. It's put on the battlefield.
Pretty good. All right. Your turn.
Ugh. I probably should upkeep that map. Not that it changes the draws. I just feel bad after drawing a brick.
Yeah.
I think at this point I should just you can use Welding Jar to regenerate the Inkmoth when I Ghost Quarter it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's awkward. But if that is true, I have another Ghost Quarter in the deck. So I think I should just ignore getting Tron because it doesn't really do a whole lot here.
Yeah, if you don't already have a Ballista. And if you do play Ballista, it's only going to be able to kill the little things.
Yeah, I think I just need to try to kill you. So I'm going to play Smasher and attack. I'll Ghost Quarter it.
Okay. So he has 9 power that he could potentially hold up to block this. So I'm just going to let... Oh, that's 9. Puts me at 7. Next turn I can regenerate. I can block. Take 5. Okay, I'll regenerate.
Okay. So you go to 7?
Yep.
Pass. No Ballista, no Ravager.
Oh, I got 5 looks at it. Tilt. Got 0 looks at it. All right. Now, do I want to attack? Because if he has a Dismember for Inkmoth...
Well, attack
he'll
puts
go
me
to
to 1, yeah.
If he has a Ballista, I die. But, yeah, sure. Put you to 1. Go.
You know I have another Ghost Quarter in my deck, right?
Okay.
Which I talked about? Okay.
Yeah. Go. Good call.
That's a good one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So I guess now I lose to Arcbound Ravager again, but not Ballista. Yeah, just play an Endbringer.
Okay.
Pass. We did. So I have lethal if Todd has all bricks because I can use the Endbringer to stop this from attacking or blocking. And then
No, can you stop it from blocking? I thought it was just target
No.
creature can't attack.
Can't attack or block.
Okay. So yeah, he just makes this not be able to block, searches up Ghost Quarter, plays it, and then he can kill this.
gets in 9 damage. 10 on your upkeep.
Thanks for that. Okay. Cool. Frost is very happy right now. He's just look at the smug look on his face, like he really did it.
That was a tough game.
Sure was.
And you flooded out. That was helpful. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I also really enjoyed doing the very hard tap my Chalice of the Void.
Oh yeah.
That was very
I was trying to
adorable.
walk the dog, just like act like my stuff's just gonna resolve, and then just try to get you. Chalice check. All right, whatever. We're gonna take a short break here. 3 minutes sideboarding. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, and we're back here for sideboarding here on Versus Live between Hardened Scales Affinity and Eldrazi Tron. For my side of things, the cuts we're going to be making here, Welding Jar, as you saw in Game 1, not super effective. I expect that, the Ratchet Bombs after sideboard could make them a little bit better, but an effect like Ratchet Bomb is so backbreaking when it's good that a single Welding Jar is never going to really save you. And with so many zeros in my deck, like Hangback Walker and Walking Ballista, Mox Opal, I'm also cutting a bit of the zeros. Like if I drew multiple Welding Jars, I would feel inclined to play them, and then single Ratchet Bomb just kind of pops them off. Plus, Dismember, Spatial Contortion, these cards don't really get Welding
Even
Jar.
Walking Ballista, the repeatable, if I'm trying to kill a Nexus,
Right.
Jar is not going to do a whole lot. So a lot of my removal gets around Jar as well.
Yep. Spellskite, I think, is a decent card to bring in because of Walking Ballista and Spatial Contortion. Surviving both of those is fairly key. Cards that I think people side in way too much in this matchup or against decks like this. Damping Sphere. Turning his colorless lands into single color or single mana producing lands. Who cares? Like, he literally functioned off of basically all the same lands that... I mean, if they tap for 1 and I spend a turn to do this, it would have basically just negated both of our turn 3s or whatever. So, doesn't matter. Doesn't do enough. When he has Tron after, doing all that stuff, it's not like he's playing a 10-drop, right? He's playing, 2 4-drops or a 5-drop and a 4-drop in the same turn. His Tron is basically like icing on top of the cake, not the whole core strategy of his deck. Obviously, he's colorless. He has 4 Expedition maps to kind of help him, but you saw there, instead of getting a Tron piece, what'd you actually get? No Eldrazi
Temple.
Yeah. And while Damping Sphere could have slowed that down, I don't think it's worthwhile. The 2 Pithing Needles I could potentially bring in, but the card that I'd want to name the most is actually Walking Ballista, and that card is in my deck, X4. So if Ratchet Bomb poses too much of a threat, we may actually bring him in and just name Ratchet Bomb, because we can also snipe an Expedition map in some spots.
Yeah. On my side, just bring in some good removal in Contortion and Ratchet Bomb. Basilisk Collar is going to be so good with Walking Ballista in this matchup that I feel I want the second copy, even though it's a 1-mana spell. We're going to cut Relic, obviously bad. All is Dust only hits Hardened Scales, so an easy cut. And then I'm cutting 2 Smashers. I don't want to be too aggressive in this matchup. I think I want to take a more controlling posture and then turn the corner, and I don't want to flood on this card. I think having 2 in my post-sideboard configuration is a good number. The first one is good. The second one is unnecessary, usually. Todd disagrees, so he's looking through my deck, trying to find other cards I can bring out.
Yeah, you can cut Karn, Sign of Urza. You could cut... I don't actually think Matter Reshaper is that good in this matchup.
I could cut Karn. Give me the Karn. I think Karn is also... Karn is a similar card to this, so comes down later, but it doesn't actually turn the corner. So we'll cut 1 Smasher and cut the Karn.
Okay. All right, let's field a couple questions if you got any.
Yeah, Matster just asked, in what instances is Field of Ruin a better choice than Ghost Quarter versus Terminus only?
Versus Terminus only.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by bringing up Terminus, but this deck is very low on basic lands, and the Ghost Quarters are more of a utility, sort of a scalpel just to pick off things like Inkmoth Nexus and be good in also being better in the Tron mirrors to cut your Tron opponents off. And you need to be able to do that early. Whereas Field of Ruin on the draw is never going to stop a turn 3 Tron. So Ghost Quarter's a little bit better at that.
I think the question is a little weirdly worded. So Terminus in Legacy, you kind of expect it off of a Brainstorm. if you're a creature-based deck
Oh,
against that
I
matchup.
think he's saying his Field of Ruin only better in Azorius control.
That's not what was implied, and most of those already play a bunch of Field of Ruins.
Yeah, and that's what they're saying.
So Field of Ruin doesn't set you back a land. But I don't think that was the question. I think
it does set you back one.
Okay,
No.
whatever. Ghost Quarter, you don't have to search. I think that was what they were talking about. Field of Ruin versus Ghost Quarter in that regard. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's fine. A couple more if you got them.
How's Dredge positioned right now in Modern?
It's certainly a deck that's poised to beat up on the rise of burn decks, and I think you're reasonable against Izzet. So Dredge is better positioned than it has been in a while. Ironworks was not a good matchup for you, so...
I believe Dredge actually won the Modern Classic last week,
It
too.
defeated me in the semifinals. Thanks for reminding me.
I'm sorry, but that was pertinent information to the question.
We played a very, very good 3-game set.
It was the first Modern event since the banning.
Yes.
You just left out that information. I'm going to make you relive it
I
every
didn't
day.
leave it out. I blocked it out.
That's fair. All right, one more. While Ross figures out his hand.
Believe that is all we have at the moment.
Okay, never mind. My hand is playable, not good, but we're going to keep it.
My hand's great.
All right, turn 1, Arcbound Worker. These are the kind of starts that makes me feel like I'm not playing a Modern deck. I am playing an old, bad Standard deck. I do think this Hardened Scales deck is actually worse than the block constructed Affinity deck from 2004, 2005. Okay.
Artifact lands are pretty good, Todd.
Yep. Let's go hanger back for 1 and attack for 1.
19.
Your turn.
I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing here. I kind of want to just set this up, so if Todd plays like a Ravager, I can work on that. I could try to get aggressive with this draw, but against a Hangerback Walker, that doesn't seem like a great plan. So let's just go with the Ratchet Bomb.
Okay.
Do I want to blow it now just for the Hangerback Walker? I think I'll just pass. I'm not super concerned about that Hangerback Walker. Till, well, now I think I have to deal with this thing and let it just. This was my one concern, was against the Ravager. I'd want to pop this immediately. I could just let the Ravager sit for a turn, but I might be dead. So let's think about it. So if I let this sit, you put this to 2. With the land next turn, you can put it to 3, activate Inkmoth, Pendlehaven the Inkmoth to 2 power, sacrifice Arcbound Worker, put the counter here, it's on 4, Ravager's on 2. Then 4-point Hangerback Walker lets you put 5 more counters on the Arcbound Ravager, that gets it to 7. Move over to the Nexus, that's 9 infect. So if it was Darksteel Citadel specifically, I would be dead.
I don't have it.
I think it would be awkward for you to have Darksteel Citadel, given that you led on the Forest and then played Pendlehaven later, which makes me think like you didn't have the Pendlehaven earlier. But I still think I just want to deal with this now because I'm going to have to deal with it.
All right, we get 2
So-
Thopters.
Tried to give myself more options, ended up giving Todd an extra Thopter, which is probably not great. I'm at 18.
Go.
That was, wow. My opening hand was really good. My 3 draw steps since then have been real bad. 5 you.
15.
You can go. So my plan here is to hope that this turn isn't that bad for me, and then I can apply pressure with the Smasher and play defense with the rest of my hand. So a 2-point Ballista. That I'm pretty happy about.
You're
So
at
this-
14.
Yeah, 14.
Your turn.
Actually, am I happy about that? That is...
Actually, I'm going to put you to 13.
Okay, I'm at 13.
So like I gain 1 damage because of the modular effect from the worker, but
Yeah.
I think that 1 point might end up mattering.
2. So you have 8 power in the air for poison for Ink Moth next turn. So I would be dead to another Arcbound worker or 2 artifacts. If I make this line, but if I don't have 2 blockers, I guess I only need 1 blocker to deal with the ballista. The real problem now is these Thopters in the air. Todd can sort of sit back and poke me for 3 between the 2 Thopters and the Pendelhaven and just get close to killing me with the ballista. I think that's a 2-turn clock. Because that'll get me to 7 in 2 turns. Yeah, and then you just sack the 2 Thopters, go up to 5, and then put 5 counters on here, and I die.
Yep.
So I'm dead in 2 turns in a way that can't really interact with. Does that mean I have to try to get this down now? And hope I don't die next turn? Probably. Yeah. My plan was to play some Reshapers, but now I think I have to just go Endbringer go.
Okay.
Maybe my attack with the Smasher was bad, but I thought, like, it's the real punishment was me not just using the Ratchet Bomb immediately.
Put you to
10.
I think you're dead. I haven't quite done it. The math. All right, so activate this. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, got very punished for not using the Ratchet Bomb.
Yeah, that extra Thopter did a lot of work. Dealt a couple points and also counted as the last point on the Walking Ballista Ravager.
Yep. It was just a lightning bolt.
Little things like that sometimes in Modern are just the only thing that matters, and it's hard to see. Like, I don't even know if you should have main phased the Ratchet Bomb, because if I don't have Ravager, you just turn off like my ability to play a Walking Ballista, you know?
If you don't have Ravager, I'm probably winning that game. It's just such an important... Every time I've played against a deck and they don't have Ravager or Scales, their draw is so anemic.
Yeah, or... I mean, Steel Overseer Living is also okay. And normally with 4 Welding Jar, that happens a bit more often now.
Got any questions over there, Kyle?
Yeah, Kataru wants to know, what are your thoughts on Frenzy Affinity?
It's pretty good in the deck. I've seen it in action, and it's definitely the way to go with Affinity. I just think that deck is kind of mopey.
I mean, I love me some... I don't know how many Galvanic Blast / Shrapnel Blast are in the deck, but I've always loved me some Shrapnel Blast.
Can't play that many colored cards. It has 4 Gal Blast, but no Shrapnel Blast.
Well, I feel like if you play Frenzy, you need to play a bunch more mana producers so that you can ramp it out quickly. I don't know if that just means, you know, the normal Springleaf Drum Mox Opal draws, but I know that when I played Affinity, at one point I tried to put Karn Sign Aversion in the deck, and I could just never get to 4 mana. Like, that was really weird and hard sometimes.
This is a Path to Exile format, so they help you a little bit. But I think the most you could do is like 17th land, and then the 8 artifacts and have 25 mana producers.
Sure.
2 basics, or like 2 basics, 3 Spire of Industry, and your...
I mean, are you playing another color
next.
besides red? Like, I feel like you just play mountains, but I guess maybe for sideboard options.
Yeah. I mean, you might end up playing 2 mountains anyway. I just like having extra basics for Field of Ruins and Paths and stuff.
Yeah.
If you draw 1, you still have 1 in there. Frenzy helps you out.
Yeah, I mean, it's always better to have a little more basics if you're going to play something like Frenzy, though. Just so Path to Exile is more punishing. Well, I am keeping the 6 on the draw. The 7 was not good enough, but the 6 is also bad.
My hand is solid. We'll start with Tron land map. See if I can draw the second Tron piece.
Go. I hate this land.
Oh, Now I have a Chalice on 1.
Seriously.
I think Todd's looking at his hand and he's sad now.
Mulliganed to 4. New game.
Yeah,
I mean, I kept a 6 that was a tap land on the draw.
with like a
with a
good Hardened
scry.
Scales to catch up.
No.
No?
This wasn't good. I just don't know if I should go to 5 there. Maybe I should. I can go to 5 and you can keep your same hand if you want.
No, we'll play another one. That's something that sometimes that happens in Modern.
Sometimes it happens in playtesting, and
Yeah.
it's worth just noting that is something that happens. Chalice locks out half your hand, but there's no reason to play the whole game out. Like I can't win with my missing a turn 2 play. No second land.
Yeah.
Half my hand is gone.
Worth noting that I agree with you on Land of War Reborn. I think that's just getting too fancy. I'd rather just have my lands entered untapped.
There's like a Phyrex's core in here too, and that's just come on, man.
Yeah. Let's put more canopies in your deck.
Or just forest. The first thing I did was cut one of the colorless lands for a green source whenever I played the deck. I'm gonna keep this one.
I'll try this one, I guess.
Your turn.
That's an okay draw. Pass.
This is probably gonna die. Your turn.
You right.
Contortion.
Warping Whale. Exile that.
Yikes. Okay. Hey, another thing that One Jar would not have protected against. Hangerback Walker. Your turn.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
You got Tron land.
Nope. But I have Mind Stone into Chalice on 1.
That's pretty cool. Doesn't hurt my hand at all.
I drew the Chalice and I was like, ooh, now I got to do something on my Mind Stone turn.
Your turn. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and main phase.
Yep.
Am I? Don't actually care that much if you target this over this. I'm just gonna wait.
Okay. Well, I will play a Seagate Wreckage and a Ballista on 2.
In response, pump this.
In response to you pumping it, I'll dismember it.
Okay.
So I'm at 16. You have 1 token. This Ballista's on 2. I'll immediately remove 1 to deal with the Overseer. Pass the turn.
Okay. Mox Opal.
Yep.
Attack for 1.
15. The first thing I did when you played Tron was check that I didn't have any poison.
Your turn. In response to the Hangerback Walker.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can't ping the Walker to death because of the throne. Todd can just sack an artifact to put an extra counter on it. So I think my plan is to just get this Endbringer going.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
Draw for turn.
This is going to be an interesting game. Todd's plan to me looks right now to be charging up this Hangerback, eventually sack it to throne, try to kill me with a horde of 1/1s. Yep. That's not good.
Right, I'll dismember your Endbringer. I go to 16. I'll attack for 1.
You have 1 card in hand?
Yeah. I don't know what you're thinking about.
Well, I'm thinking my hand is a Ratchet Bomb that I'm probably using next turn, so I might as well stop this point of damage.
Well, if you target this, I'm just
Say
going
you
to
just
pop
proliferate.
it. Yeah.
But you get to do that anyway, so
Sure.
it still stops a point of damage.
Okay.
If my plan is to literally Ratchet Bomb next turn, this is going away, and this prevents a point of damage. And I don't think I'm doing anything else. It unfortunately deals with my Chalice, but then we sit there, like, I'll sack the Mind Stone, we'll each have 1 card, and we'll just sort of go from there. I guess you'll have the Throne still in play. But I think that's my only real line. I can't sit here pumping this Ballista when you can just use yours to kill mine.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, let's just kill this thing.
Okay. I'll proliferate.
You want to add a counter? Oh, crap.
I forgot I could do that. That's what this is used for in Legacy, actually. Wow, you really shouldn't have shown me that.
Yeah.
All right,
I just okay.
your turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in some trouble now.
All right, my turn. Or
just reveal my hand to Todd.
I don't know what you're doing, man.
Show him how to beat me. Guess we'll pop this Mind Stone.
Sure thing.
This deck. Play Matter Shaper.
Sure.
You can go.
All right, draw for turn. I'll play animation module.
Oh, jeez.
Gonna play an Arcbound Worker. Just gonna come in with a counter, trigger this. Send
Make a
one.
servo.
Yeah, we just,
Kyle.
There's no way.
Kyle.
we just don't have servos.
Didn't get us any servos.
All right, so I make a servo. Sack servo, proliferate all this.
Does that get you 3 triggers in the module, right?
Yes,
But
but
you
I
only have
just
1 mana.
only have
so.
1 mana. I can almost always make more tokens than I have mana. Attack.
Block.
Nice.
Awkward.
All right, your turn.
Not that it would be that good, even if I had Tron at this point. Sure you didn't want to proliferate on this.
Positive.
I mean, I have a 3-drop in my hand.
Weird.
um,
If you had revealed it,
yeah, maybe.
then I would have done it.
Maybe I could have tricked you.
But gotta play around Ratchet Bomb. That's my logic, and I'm sticking to it. Gotta
Where
beat-
could you have
where-
gotten
gotta
such a
beat that.
notion?
Gotta beat Ratchet Bomb. As far as integrity of the game is concerned, this is not my fault. Just want to put that out there. If you ever show your hand to your opponent,
I'm just trying to think if I have a way to
That's a
answer my
mistake.
own Chalice of the Void, and I'm pretty sure it's only Ratchet Bomb. How do I get out of this?
play another game, or all right, that's a 5/5. You done?
Yes.
Okay.
Why? We could have actually played a real game after this. You would have had module going with the 1 Arcbound Worker and Throne, which would have probably still been really good. Yeah, so activate Ballista, that triggers the module, get another servo.
Go.
Uh,
No, I'll attack with these. Forgot I could just sack my Arcbound Worker and
Yeah.
modular. I'll
don't you
attack,
just get to?
attack with all these?
Do you just get to kill me?
I don't know.
You sack this.
What do you
These
got?
both go
15?
5s. The unblocked one goes to 7, and if I block this one,
Well, if you block that
This-
one, I'm gonna let's see. This
make
goes
this
to
a
6,
7, 12, 13, so you're 2 short.
Yeah.
But I do have to block this, and you just get to.
Okay.
Yeah. So sack that to proliferate. Put the 2 on there.
So 6.
So it goes to 7. This goes to 5.
Yep, and you
You
take,
take 6. Brings me to 9.
Your turn.
And I should be dead regardless of what I draw here.
You could draw a Ratchet Bomb. Oh, I'll proliferate. I'm just-
Yeah, I'm just very dead.
Okay, cool.
Regardless of what I do, Todd just gets to activate Ballista, put an 8th counter, and then proliferate for the 9th.
Okay.
Okay, proliferating on a Chalice of the Void.
You got about 12 more minutes to play another game if you want, but you can't be thinking too hard about things. You know,
Okay.
classic. You got to be classic, modern player. Okay,
Fast and loose.
just play your cards, like read what they say and play them. You know, I'm a classic modern guy, except I don't even read my Rift Bolts. You know.
There's a lot riding on this too because you lost the last match.
Oh
Those
yeah,
marbles aren't.
we
gonna
gotta
get over
have we gotta have a conclusion one way or another. 2-2.
You lose this, you lose the marbles.
What was that? The 3rd game that we actually played?
That was the 4th game.
That was
Well,
fourth.
I conceded the 1,
Yeah,
right? So it was the 3rd full game we played.
yeah. You can so we're 2-2.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll be on the play.
All
Got any
right.
questions over there, Kyle?
Yeah, we got a few. How do you guys feel about regular Tron?
I think it's great. I think, well, Joel Assat seems to think that Ironworks was not a bad matchup, and I have no idea why. So I'm just going to say that I thought it was a horrible matchup, and now it's gone. And that's great for you. So, the heck do I know, though?
Seems fine. Like your matchup against Izzet's fine. Your matchup against Burn is not great. The shadow decks are sort of depends on their sideboard, but that's not a great matchup strategically. I don't really see a lot in the format going your way.
I mean, I think more people are going to be focused on beating stuff like Phoenix right now with Surgicals and Anger of the Gods and, trying to make sure that Thing in the Ice doesn't transform and flip and kill you. And if that's the case, no one's really Blood Mooning, except for the Izzet Phoenix decks. So,
yeah.
How do you guys
it's not like
feel...
you're not prepared to be Blood Moon. You've been prepared to be Blood Moon for 10 years.
How do you feel about deputy detention in humans? Is it
a human?
Do I want 5 Reflector Mages?
No, it's a Vidalcan. Go. We've already been over this. He's a Vidalcan.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, get out of here.
Got to be careful with this one against Throne of Geth, too.
Why can't I just draw a second land? Go. I was thinking about playing another animation module so that he would be more inclined to blow that up.
I think I'm just supposed to leave this on 0.
I'm going to play this one.
Huh? Name Eldrazi, play a Reshaper.
Sure.
Just your classic modern curve. Turn 2 Ratchet Bomb, turn 3 Reshaper.
Go.
On the naturals. Attack you for 3.
17.
Also your classic 2 of 1, 1 of the other. But I have a thought.
Trigger on the stack. Dismember it. I go to 13.
13, draw a card.
All right, which of my uncastables do you want?
I'll take the other Dismember.
Smart.
You can go.
All right, Canopy. I'll go
12.
To 12. I'm gonna play Steel Overseer. Your turn. Better start cranking it up. You're gonna get eaten alive by 2 drops.
Actually, I should have that's what I should have done. I'll ramp this up to 1 on NSEP.
Okay.
Take the Hangerback Walker.
Okay.
Dismember this thing, go to 16, and attack you to 9.
All right. And you're at 16?
Yes. Pass. Yeah, Todd can't tap these canopies for more than 1 mana or he's dead.
All right. Enters the battlefield.
Yeah, so you're at 8.
All right, I'll pay 1, make a thing.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's a thing.
All right, I'm at 7.
Let's move this to 2.
Okay.
So you're at 7. Draw.
It's like this is one of the main arguments for not playing like 4 Horizon Canopy in this deck. Draws like this are really tough.
Blow up the bomb.
Okay. Sure. Block.
You go to 3, I gain 4, go to 20, trigger the Reshaper.
Mm-hmm.
Ballista will go to my hand.
All right, you win.
And I'll play Ghost Quarter and pass.
I'm dead.
So next turn I just play the Ballista on 3 and
I don't have any way to gain life. I didn't even have a way to get Thought-Knot Seer off the battlefield. I could never block it. Ballista plus
Basilisk Collar.
Basilisk Collar also. Game over. But the moral of the story is when you mold a 6 and keep a 1-lander multiple times, you just lose. So maybe you just can't keep a hand that doesn't have 2 lands in it.
I mean, match 1, like a lot of the Burn versus Phoenix games like came down to just like hitting on the last turn, and I missed a lot, lost that match. You mulled a 6 and missed a lot. Like, it just happens.
No, I mean that's modern, and I think
It's just magic.
that's true. But modern, the overall curve of your deck is significantly lower than like standard, where you can function off of 1 land like pretty well sometimes. Like is that Phoenix deck? Like you obviously want the second land so that you can kind of like Manamorphose into things and cast Thing in the Ice and whatnot. But you can keep a lot of 1 land hands. But this deck in particular, I don't think can do that because you have such a glut too with Ravager, Hangerback, Ballista.
You also have
Even
no
throw
way to
death.
gain extra velocity. Like, most of the time when I'm keeping a one-lander with Izzet Phoenix, it's because I have Opt and or Serum Visions, so
Right.
I'm super likely to hit land too, whereas you're just hoping the top of your deck gives you the goods.
Okay, well, that's going to do it for the second match. We got one more, and this is the fun match. This is some of the new cards getting into Modern, as well as just some archetypes that are trying to abuse them. On Ross's side, we're going to have Electro Dominance. That's an Arsenal Munch. That's Sean McLaren's list, featuring Balance. And he's going to be trying to use Electro Dominance as a way to cheat Balance at instant speed, along with As Foretold, which can do it at sorcery speed. So.
Also have Ancestral Visions as another free spell to cast off of those effects.
Yeah,
So
it's a two. So Electro Dominance, I think, is going to be pretty good in Modern because it lets you cheat those, suspend spells. But if all you're doing is casting Ancestral Vision, right? Like you're spending 2 cards to draw 3 cards, and that's not broken.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty
If
good.
you're spending 3 or 4 mana and dealing with a creature on the battlefield, kill your Noble Hierarch, kill for 4 mana, kill something else like a meddling mage or something.
Yeah, I do like we'll get to more. We'll talk about more when we actually get to the deck. On my side, I'm going to be playing. Drum roll, please. Wilderness Reclamation. Weird, I know, right? But someone 5-0'd with a Mystical Teachings, Cryptic Command, Wilderness Reclamation control deck. My win condition, believe it or not, Blue Sun Zenith.
You got 2 Creeping Tar Pits, which is sweet with Wilderness Reclamation, by the way.
It is.
The first
Very
Modern PTQ season, I played a deck that had Creeping Tar Pit and Sword of Feast and Famine. Those cards also combo.
Yes.
It's just 6 mana, 5 you untap everything.
Yeah, so those are the 2 decks we're going to be pitting against each other. We'll talk about more before we get into the match, but we're going to take a short break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Versus Live.